For LGD, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It is on LG or on anyone's legend. What do you pick to try to change up some of this matchup? It's going to be taking away Zyra Khan from Envy and Jinzhou.
I mean, again, yeah, taking away the Zyra Khan is good, but LGD could be just saying, look, anything you could do, we can do better. Get the Lulu Aphelios locked and loaded here. Maybe even a Lulu, Aphelios Annie, to be perfectly honest. You've got the Vi already, and we saw how well Meteor was able to pilot that champion in the last game, but I still like the Lulu here as well. I think it does give you a hell of a lot of kind of setups. I will say, though, it means that your early game is going to basically be dominated by the Zyra Khan because you won't have as much trade power, but those team fights, it's going to be nigh impossible to be able to kill off the Aphelios.
If it isn't this Enchanter, then they could go for a Nautilus just for the straight-up counter into Rakan, and it still would give them a lot of engage, would give them that backline threat. And this was a time where I did want to see them go for more engage, something that is going to be a little bit more upfront. It isn't as maybe... I need something from AL that is going to be concrete. It isn't like, oh, we have this Cyclone that we could use that is temporary CC, but not really going to be able to lock someone down. Gragas was the champion that I thought, hey, Decade took it last time, and while didn't participate in too many fights, is still a champion that, if utilized correctly, if used as a threat, will make it very difficult for Envy and Jinzhou.
Absolutely, and getting the Gragas in there can be flexed towards top or into the mid lane. I think it will more so go to harder than it would anybody else. I have to triple check my stats on that one there, but
yeah.
It does feel like AL trying to get rid of all of these kind of, you know, Annies, the Aries. They're the ones that are kind of saying, look, we need this Gragas to survive, and not only survive, we need them to thrive. So getting rid of all these massive kind of, you know, AoE picks definitely feels like the name of the game here for the side of AL. And again, love this from LGD saying, cool, well, we'll take away the dive options. We'll get rid of the Wukong, the Nocturne. You're lacking in a little bit of extra kind of frontline here. Maybe AL take a page out of WE's book and go for that Nautilus jungle.
Maybe would mean that they have a lot of magic damage coming in from their top side of the map. Picking Kha'Zix to be that backline threat is not guaranteed to get there, so need to watch how Xiaohao will actually play, but definitely an aggressive player at that. LGD, you have your jungler and you have your mid laner here, or your top laner, sorry, your solo lanes to be able to pick up. I was wondering what was going to happen here. I do not like Syndra in this instance. It is very susceptible to Zora being an engage tool with this Rakan. I think they're going to need a little bit more time to figure out what their mid pick is, because you need a mage, someone that can operate at a long range but isn't going to be as easily killed. See Ari and Anna here.
Go on, pick LeBlanc. Okay. Pick it.
No.
Oh,
no. Okay, wait a minute now. Veigar's a lot better.
I mean, it looks like it probably is going to be the Syndra, being totally honest. Hai Chao is a Syndra player, something he's very comfortable on in this current meta, and it does give them kind of blow-up potential as well. So we're going to see the Gwen locked and loaded here. So AL, yes, they have better engage options, but they're still kind of working with that kind of, you know, bruiser / carry top laner that will have to try and just kind of, you know, not get caught out. If the Gwen gets burnt out so quickly that they have no impact, that champion does not get to play the game. The champion does not kind of, you know, get to have an impact. So really for AL, the burden of execution is still very, very high.
I love what AL have here. On paper, if we were to take nameplates off, I would prefer this draft. You have a winning topside matchup. You have iBoy and Zora, who, while on the Zyra Rakan, will be able to get pushed pretty easily compared to a Lulu and an Aphelios. And in mid lane, that is just a free kill. If you can get the summoner spells out very early on, you can rinse, repeat, gank this guy. You have the Gragas, who will not take a lot of damage. Even early on, he will get pushed in, but has so much sustain. And if he is going AP, can straight up one-shot Hai Chao in the mid lane. I think it's a very difficult draft here to execute from LGD side. They need to play very perfectly. They need to have aggressive games, aggressive kind of laning early on. And we'll have to see what Meteor can do. He has been the early driver for this team. Same could be said for Xiaohao on the opposite side.
Absolutely, but LGD, they find themselves in familiar territory. A great first game. They need to turn it into a win. They need to try and turn their season around if they want to have any chance of making it to top 10. And look, all you got to do is give yourself a chance. If you're in top 10, that means Worlds is still something you can attain. It's still something you can push for. But you gotta start it here. You can't let this go any longer. For AL, a uninspiring game one. Want to see more from them here now in game number 2, as we are looking at maybe a little bit of a move here on the bot side to try and catch out iBoy.
We'll see if all you do with that information is try to stop a gank. Haichao, you just cannot be here. Flash is over.
It flashes over, flashed on top of him. First blood, isolation damage is great. Now on the bot side though.
Recall, like right here, you just can't be here. That's the moment where he's just too far up. Love that flash from Harder just over the stun, just to make sure that they grab this.
Yeah, really, really well done there for the side.
And that could open up so much. If you're able to grab this mid kill, you're able to say, yeah, I have priority over mid lane. Harder, you just can't be here. No flash, doesn't have the E.
Yeah, Harder.
You should be able to hit him with the Q.
Yeah, Envy is here. He just pop out the ultimate there, but might be able to get himself away. Nope, never mind. Meteor picks up that kill, and yeah, I just don't know really what the plan was going to be there. You don't have your flash, and like you said, once he uses the belly slam, he's just dead to rights. So now we're going to see them moving back in on top of Haichao, who's going to be dead a second time. So just really weird pathing from both mid laners, gets them both punished. Now, replayed kind of fight took so long. You can see the LGD, they just unfortunately used too many things to try and make a play for that objective.
This is one of the few instances where I will say this is a good death. This is a good death for iBoy. Does get caught out, but they waste so much time. Like you were saying, turns into double objective plays here. Forces Haichao out of the mid lane because Kha'Zix has to just walk right through the laning, through the lane physically.
Thought you had an opportunity, but you did not expect Xiaohao to be in the vicinity. Now Decade has caught between a rock and a hard place, and he is going to be dying as well. Just error after error here for LGD, and again, we come back to what we talked to for LGD. Game one, except
burst out ZDZ, like, in mid lane, maybe didn't see Haichao here. I'll give, or Xiaohao, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but just cannot make that play, even if it's just Gwen by herself. She's level 11. Very tough for you to be able to make that play, and then Decade getting...
Oh, they're looking for something here, but the damage! Trade back of 1-for-1, mid laners dying to the junglers, but that's a 4-0-2 Kha'Zix. He is melting health bars right now.
Has a CS advantage. You already see the objective bounties have come out for the side of LGD. I guess what I was going to say before that play is that with this lane being so long in the bottom lane, it does allow for LGD to kind of sit here and do whatever they want with it. I think it's pretty tough for AL to revisit this without breaking down a tier 1 in the mid lane. And that's exactly what they're doing here, or at least they're attempting to do. While they will trade another turret, objective bounty still, again, getting cashed in, taking damage the entire time. Just watch what Xiaohao is able to do on such a fed Kha'Zix.
Yeah, I mean, just so much damage with the burst as well. Just able to do so much in such a short amount of time, and it's just becoming harder and harder for LGD. They do have up. The wild growth is good, but Harder goes for a play that just wasn't his to make. And it's a game of throws right now, and I don't know what's going on between these two teams.
Yeah, Harder making it much more difficult for his team. Maybe his namesake coming in. TP in the mid lane was just a complete loss there, and the Rift Herald wall did hit. Massive scatter the weak.
Yeah,
gets
of course iBoy into his ult, and this is good for the side of LGD, finally showing lives back into this game, but I will say AL are definitely making it easier for them.
And I just want to see what exactly, so this was supposed to be just a punish onto the fact that they're overextending in mid, but Haichao here, just unfortunate timing, maybe saying I can deal with just the Syndra, but with the Scion here as well. Unfortunate timing at the very least for Harder.
For AL to make things work, ZDZ going to be caught out onto the side. They're trying to fully commit onto him. He does have the mist, but if everybody's in the mist, you get nothing back. And AL are throwing this 100%. They should not be letting themselves get this far behind after they were so far ahead.
Yeah, and the one thing I was going to say is LGD cannot step up for this dragon if they still have no summoner spells on Envy. But that pick dissuades AL from going for this, and now they're going to trade for this. I thought that maybe LGD were going to go for the Baron, but Haichao now sitting in mid lane. They're going to take control of mid lane. They're going to hit all these minions and then immediately move over. Okay, the dragon being done now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a little too late, though, from the side of LGD. They're going to try and burn it down as quick as they possibly can. Decade does not have his flash. They're TPing in as well. It's not that fast. Meteor over the wall. He needs to be ulted away hard. Is going to commit himself over, but there's the explosive cast to try and get him away. Zora going back in. Oh, Solon! Meteor with the god play! And the Infernum burns down the rest of the team. iBoy, you are going to have to flash a scatter the weak, a smack down. And it's just that LGD smack smashing AL around the Baron pit.
There it is, man on your screen makes it happen. Meteor, he walked in to steal a dragon in game 1, and he makes it look so easy here in game 2. The early game was all AL. This mid lane was a hazardous place to be as Haichao. But now, AL are looking at an evened up game. A Baron, as we get to take a look at this replay, Meteor, the fact that there was a good mark from Harder, but now they're out of the pit and no one's dealing damage. iBoy is not hitting this Baron. He's trying to get into the back line. They do not time this.
Oh my god. Perfect flash in. The Infernum just wrecks them on the backside as well. This brings the goal back up into even. It means that you've got about 2 minutes of just pure Baron play as well here from the side of LGD and AL. I mean, they got to feel rocked right now. They got to feel very, very sketchy because, I mean, if you're Xiaohao, you're 5-0-2. You're 3-item Kha'Zix. You were doing so well. But Harder 0-3. Your Gwen randomly died. It just doesn't feel like they can go for anything. And now, Xiaohao looking for a little bit of a flank here with the Rakan. And it's just harder and harder for them to kind of go for this one again. Harder and harder is making this harder. I'm being totally honest. Harder has not looked good on this Gragas.
Oh, no. Okay, they're trying to make this pick on the Haichao.
They're trying to make it on the Haichao, and they will be able to get him down eventually. Good scatter of the week will put decent damage on the iBoy, but will stop the Baron push for the moment. We're going to see a TP, or excuse me, a recall coming out from Decade, as he knows that ZDT is just free farming on this bot side. So good moment there from AL, and good to see Harder taking my criticism to heart and pushing himself into a position to make a play.
They've got your audio piped in immediately.
Yeah,
AL, we're like, okay, we're not going to let Ashin. Oh my god, okay, getting the quickness is so big for them, and teleport coming in.
Yeah, because Decade knows he can just stay. There's no AD carry, there's no Gwen. Who's going to kill you? No one is the answer. There's a 3-man scatter of the week into a decimating smash, and everybody's going down. Harder will not be able to escape this, you would imagine. Will have the belly bump in a couple of seconds, but he's already dead. 3 killed because you had no damage dealers, AL. You had nobody to put out DPS.
This mid jungle for LGD are alive this game, this time around. Haichao with a much rougher early game finally gets into this, and iBoy, he's just going to try and take this mid-tier 1, try to make it even for his team.
And even
barely isn't even able to get that. The Baron yet again here for LGD.
You start to believe for LGD at 0-7. I said I wanted a 2-0. I didn't want this to go to a third game, and for all the LGD faithful, these are the kind of plays you want to see them make.
This is so good for them. That was a great face check coming out from Haichao using the scatter of the week there. And it's just this play right here connecting onto Xiaohao. Haichao as well, executing him. He's already picked up 120 of those Syndra Splinters. Getting all of these kills, it makes the gold into their favor. It gives them the Baron. We'll have to see what they can do with it, because the first Baron they got, they weren't able to grab too many turrets. This time around, if they're able to take more structures, this could be the game we're waiting for. Envy gets caught.
He does, but nobody was willing to commit to that after the fact. Remember, TP was used by ZDZ, so he's not going to be able to find a massive flank ward play. Dragon up in 2 minutes 30, so this is all about the Baron push in mid lane. You can see Meteor now just kind of utilizing in his health bar to push himself back in towards this mid lane and push everybody else out. That's 1 tier 2 down. Still a lot to go here for LGD, but they finally got themselves a gold lead, and they're looking more confident than AL. That's all I can say.
Harder has to be looking for a flank. ZDZ, he's playing on the fringes, but is not really looking for many plays. LGD, stop walking topside. There's nothing up here. We need to go bot lane so we can grab this tier 2. There's nothing for us here. This mini wave is not going to be here in time. It seems like instead, they just want to focus on mid lane. Get this inhibitor tower for themselves. Playing on this wave, a minute and a half.
Oh! ZDZ, he has to use the mist to try and keep himself safe, but now he gets punched in straight away. Will actually turn this one right back around and take down Levi. Harder in the middle of no man's land. He flashed in to find a play, and he will suffer the consequences for it. Now the inhibitor is down, the base is cracked open. And do they want to go for a little bit more? They're trying to see if they can make something else happen. Green and white is a powerful combination of guns, and they've still got Baron for a minute.
They're trying to summon this in, a wave coming in. This could be LGD's first win in the LPL Summer split. And they're looking to push. Now, massive guns here for Envy.
Oh, massive guns here. Gonna force iBoy into a stasis because he just cannot die. If he dies, he knows the game is over, and that could just be it. Now they're gonna try and see if Xiaohao can kill him off, but he just can't do it. Jin Zhao sets him up, but I think they might have done it, Ulf. I think they might have been able to finally be able to get themselves a series win. LGD in LPL Summer 2023 are finally on the board.
It took them until week 4 to do it. They had to take down everybody. They got so close to finding wins. Envy just putting down damage. You could see it. They're relieved. LGD, man, they've gotten it. They've crested over to finally finding that first win.
Great win here for LGD. Look, it's not exactly the greatest of situations you find yourself in, but you gotta try your hardest. You gotta put yourself on the board. 1-7. And look, I'm not saying they're gonna make a run. I'm just saying that there is hope. I'm just saying that you now have a chance. You do not want to be going into the second half of the split 0-8. And thankfully for LGD, it's not much better, but 1-7 is still better.
This is the first time they've been able to do this all summer split. It's got to feel good for some of the LGD fans. You saw the Envy fighting poster there.